Perfect. Okay, so you guys, we wanted to do this after the last few weeks that we had. We were like, we need to have something for the next step. So maybe you have hit Emerald and maybe you just recently hit it, or you're close to hitting it, or maybe you're a little bit past Emerald. You know, you might have 2, 3, 4 coaches, but it's always kind of that, what's next? All right, I hit this milestone. One, I know a lot of you guys are like, what does that even mean? And where do I go from here? What do I need to do to get to that next step? And so what we wanted to do is just kind of briefly go over a few slides to help you understand the big picture of kind of what you should be doing, the type of activities, and how you can continue that momentum. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my slide or my screen, and we'll get started. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat bar, and then we'll discuss it at the end or as we're going. Ooh, I don't know why it started there. All right, Kim, go ahead.
Okay. All right, cool. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So first of all, it's very exciting for anybody who has just hit Emerald or is really close to hitting Emerald. And so of course that's the first step. And then we don't want you to hit a wall and think, now what do I do? Now remember, this is where your journey gets exciting and fun. You want to really focus on you. In your first few months, you want to be a product of the product. And right now with MBF as a brand new launch and a brand new program, it is really exciting and really fun to be able to go all in and do it amongst people. So if you're Emerald, you've obviously signed up 2 new coaches, and this is the time to really kind of dig deep and go hard with them, like be their support and together have amazing results, right? So you want to show that you're excited. You want to be telling people what you're doing in a really genuine and authentic way. And then most importantly, as you're starting to do this, you also want to communicate with your personally sponsored coach. You've got to communicate with us. We don't know what you are either enjoying or struggling with if you don't talk to us. So we have to know, are we on pace together? Are we going too fast, giving you too much info? Or do you need a little more? Are you ready to run? So just don't compare with each other, but definitely don't get stuck. This is the time you want to keep your momentum going. We can go to the next slide. All right, but this is super key. The best way to take care of yourself is not just pressing play on the workouts, not just being in the challenge groups, but a huge part of what has helped all of us and still helps every single one of us all the time is personal development. I remember one of the first books Kelly ever gifted me was The Compound Effect, and it really changed my perspective. It's like all those ideas of a little bit of effort goes a long way, and all the things you do start to add up is so true. And so if you're somebody who really thinks, oh, I have no time to read a book, that's okay. There's amazing podcasts, which also something I lean into all the time. I can be folding laundry, cooking, driving, whatever it is, and I will just plug into a podcast. And sometimes I like to say that the podcast will choose you. Like maybe you're like, I need some inspiration. I'm really being negative in my mindset. Sometimes the podcast you pick is going to speak right to you. And if you don't have like a good voice in your ear, the business can get hard because not everybody's always going to love your stuff. Not everybody's always going to say yes. You're maybe going to feel stuck in your own progress. But if you have really good personal development, you get a thick skin, you get a good mindset, and it's a constant work in progress. So we never stop doing personal development, no matter how long we've all been coaching. Figure out ones that speak to you. We've obviously put here some ones that we really love. And if you want to check in with your personal sponsored coach after this and ask for some tips or advice on which podcasts to listen to or books, let us know. We'll direct you a little more. All right, now here's one of my favorite topics, social media. So this is what happens to a lot of new coaches. They get started and then they sort of look around them and go, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. All these other people are doing it. And maybe you start to think they're doing it better than me. I can't do that. So number one advice is do you. Don't spend your time just watching and looking all the other coaches. And remember, for the average person who's not a Beachbody coach, their Instagram feed is not like yours. It's not full of people doing what we do. You may be the only person in someone's news feed or story that is sharing positive fitness information and a light in someone's news feed. So don't discredit or discount what your efforts are doing for someone else out there. And here's the thing. When you commit to this, you've also got to commit a little bit to social media. People are going to be watching you before they join you. And even if they're quiet and they're not loving it and liking it, they're still watching you. So don't be discouraged if things feel quiet or the support isn't exactly what you imagined it to be. We've all been there. We all feel that. But I promise you, you'll be shocked when the day comes when someone goes, hey, you know what? I've been watching you for like 6 months. I'm ready. You will love hearing that. And here's the thing. You've got to be consistent. Doesn't mean you have to post some amazing, extravagant post on your newsfeed every day, but we like to suggest at least commit to 3 or 4 on your newsfeed, like your main post in a week. That's pretty doable. And my advice is if you struggle with that, do some kind of content creation 1 day a week and write down some ideas, write down things that are relevant in your life and create little stories, and you can just share those in the week and you won't feel as stressed out. But stories are really important. Do not disappear. Stories take 15 seconds, you guys. So if you consider that we're suggesting you do 5 to 10 stories a day, that's like a few minutes of your time. It doesn't have to be constant. And honestly, sometimes if you go to someone's feed and you see too many stories, like you're turned off right away, right? So think of, before you post, think to yourself, am I giving something of value to somebody, like a tip, a recipe, a hack, things that work for you? Because if you're constantly throwing little bits out there in between fitness and life, people want to come back because you're giving them something of value, and that makes you interesting. So remind yourself, does this serve me or does this serve somebody else before you share? Not always, but keep questioning that as you go along. And let's see. Okay, one more thing on social media. This is really important. So we talk about this a lot, and you'll keep hearing this as things go on. We're all really different. That's the beauty of it. We are not the same kind of people. We don't have the same interests. We are similar, some of us, but the cool thing is that everything about you makes you you. And so you have to kind of figure it out. Like, what are 5 things that really are kind of your jam? Like for me, I love sales shopping. I love traveling. I love, what else? I'm a police wife. I do gluten-free cooking, and I love food that's just really fast and simple. So those are things that I will talk about a lot and kind of stay in my lane. Like if I find good deals, I'm going to share that. If I find a good hack, I'm going to share that. So I know who I am. I'm not trying to be a runner. I'm not a runner. I'm not trying to be a triathlete. I'm not that person. So you don't have to look at other people and go, oh, but they do this, so I need to do that. Just stick with who you are. And the other thing is that people kind of want to know what you're struggling with. You don't have to present as perfect on social media. This is a journey. And that's kind of the beauty of when you're a new coach and you're starting. And even for me, today's day 1 of a new program. We're always going to be a beginner again. And that's what's cool. People come into your journey at different times. So nobody really wants perfect. That's kind of cool for a second, but then it's not that inspiring because it's not attainable. But when you're human and you share the ups and downs and the struggles, people love that and they want to see that. So don't feel like you can't be real. And the other thing is, this is a really good thing for a lot of new people. Take a look. I know it's very kind of like the first thing most new coaches do is they get their Beachbody website link and their first thought is, oh my gosh, I have to go put that in my social media profile, right? Like, because you're so excited and you want to put it out there. But let me tell you this. Don't put anything. This is what we think in our team, not everybody, but we think it's better to have curiosity marketing. So if you've put like Beachbody coach in your profile or your Beachbody website link, I would take that out and I would rather talk about who are you, because you're not like every other Beachbody coach. So be careful of the words just because people have a 1-second decision. Oh, Beachbody, been there, done that, not going to do it again. But guess what? If they don't know you're talking about Beachbody, but they're interested in what you're doing, you'll have that conversation and then they'll go, oh, Beachbody? Oh, I did that a while back. And you get to say, well, it's better and different now. So curiosity marketing. When you talk about Shakeology, you can call it a superfood shake. When you talk about Energize, you can call it your go-go juice. When you talk about your new fitness program, if it's 21 Day Fix, you can say my new 3-week program or my 21 program. I know that one's hard. Or there's just different ways. So get kind of into the mode of not giving all the information out And one more quick tip is just try and avoid a lot of stock photos. People would rather see you. So in the launches, you'll notice we are showing more pictures of like Megan Davies from MBF, or like maybe some things, bundles, pictures that you're going to get. But on an average day, I don't really use those. I would rather show myself with a plate of food, showing what food looks like, than just like a poster of like ultimate portion fix, right? Or I'd rather show my transformation or my friend's transformation than just like the beach body, this is this person's transformation. So just think to yourself, like, what would attract you? What would turn you off? And that's okay. Then you're going to talk to the right people. So keep it really simple. Find your 5 things that you love. Kind of guide yourself in the weekly like planning of what you want to share, sprinkle, and make sure that there's a mix. It's not just all Beachbody. So that's just a little tip on social media. And I think I'm going to give it over to Kel or Shannon.
Yeah. So I was just going to continue on with social media a little bit, you guys, because it's such a huge part of our business. And I know in the beginning, and I can tell you this for almost 90% of the time, most coaches come in and that is the thing that scares them most. Social media and posting and putting themselves out there, making themselves the main subject. And I struggled with that in the beginning too, because I was so used to just sharing my 3 sons, or when I started Beachbody, it was just my 2 kids. And then I would share Nick and what we would do for the weekend, or, every now and then I would sprinkle that, but I never really was like standing there, taking a picture, having the timer out going off on my phone. And I started just watching other coaches, and I realized, and these are, anyone necessarily on our team, but I just saw, I am attracted to watching people who are sharing their own life and their own tips and their successes, what they're struggling with, when they're adding value. And so that's why we say, you know what? People are following you because of you. And as much as it's easy to put your kids in front of the camera or to be the one taking the picture, it's so important that you sprinkle in you, and mostly you. So if you go to my profile on Instagram, you will see that it's a huge mix of, yes, it's me, and I have my family in there. I'll have my kids, and I'll have a fitness post, at least every week. I try to look at it like this. I don't post necessarily every single day, but I try to do at least, I would say, every 4 days or 5 days. And so what I like to do is look at my phone, look on my profile here, and I like to look and figure out, what have I been doing enough of or too much of, and what does that next photo need to be and represent? Because, for example, if you are starting a group, right? A lot of us started MBF today, and maybe you're not doing MBF, and that's totally fine. You're doing something else and you're sharing and you're sprinkling that. That's okay. Just make sure you're sharing your story and your journey. But for a lot of us, we were really trying to get people into this new group for our coach VIP group. And so I knew, like, okay, in order to get that, I need to be showing up in my stories almost daily and doing random polls, and then also doing hard call to actions. I realized, as I watched some of our newer coaches will say, let me know if you want to join me. And it's not really that's a more of a soft call to action. And I think that's the hard part in the beginning, is really figuring out how to invite. And it's, figuring out how to do it on polls, figuring out how to do it on your posts. But the biggest thing, you guys, is to make sure that when you are trying to get people into your group, or you're trying to hit Success Club, and we always do, typically as our team, we all kind of are on the same page. We do our main challenge group the 3rd Monday of the month. And so right now, you still have time to get people into that new group. So this is usually when I will be doing a couple hard call to actions. And then in my stories, I'll do that as well. But if I feel like, oh gosh, I've been doing a little bit too much, maybe feeling icky or selling, then I know, okay, I don't feel comfortable with that. I wonder if I'm making my audience feel that way. And then I try to switch it over to sharing more, tips of what I'm eating, or sharing a bit about my kids, because I know they love seeing, baby Vivian. You got to figure out what your audience kind of wants. And so that's how you start building and growing your Instagram or even Facebook, is by focusing on relationship building and not just putting up a post and being, okay, I did a post and I know that's what I'm supposed to do. I haven't done one in 5 or 6 days. No, it's fine doing short and sweet posts. Absolutely. We all have our own ways of doing it. If you go to Shannon's Instagram, she's very different than what I share about and how I tell my story and my journey. It doesn't mean that I'm doing it better or she's doing it better. We just have a different way of talking to our audience. And Shannon really enjoys writing. I'm someone who likes to be a little bit more quick and fast, and not saying I don't put a lot of time into my posts, because I do, but I also, have a different style, and that is 100% okay. So when you are wondering, how do I grow my Instagram? A lot of it, you guys, think about how you found your coach that you're with. What attracted you to her? Was it that, similarities? Did you like what she was talking about on her stories? Did you feel like, okay, she's a young mom, she's juggling it all, oh, she's sharing her fitness, I like that? And what was it? You got to think, what was it that got you to sign up or got you intrigued by the person that you are with now? So if you were part of my team, maybe you were watching me for a week or a month or a year or 2 years, because I honestly have people that will message me now and say, hey, I'm ready to sign up. And I'll look at our message thread on Instagram. And sometimes it was literally from 2018 when I sent them information, and then they kind of went dark on me, but they're still watching me. And that's how you build and build and build, is because you are staying consistent. And so a lot of what we do, I don't look at it like, okay, I have to just be this walking billboard of Beachbody and be perfect. No, I just want to start making sure I'm consistent. So when people find me, that they are like, okay, either they want to follow me and I'm their jam, or I'm not. And that's okay, because I want people to know who I am and my characteristics. And if that doesn't really mesh with them, that's okay. I wouldn't want them not only on, part of my team, but as a challenger. So the other thing too, you guys, is we have the business activity tracker for a reason. And if you're like, where is that? How do I get the business activity tracker? One, we have it in our Google Drive, our team Google Drive. If you don't know where our team Google Drive is, just go to the announcement tab and you can see the most important there, and we have it there. You can also just Google and say business activity tracker and Beachbody, and it will populate. But a lot of stuff that you guys ask, you can find on YouTube. If you're like, I need to understand a little bit more what this means. Sorry, I'm going to mute whoever that is. Okay, I think I got it. But because there's always way, like we might do an emerald call and you might feel a little confused of what that means. So honestly, just go to YouTube, find one that looks like kind of short, because that's what I do, and just really try to understand it a little bit better. But I highly recommend, if you're trying to stay consistent, to stick to the business activity tracker. And then, of course, setting business hours and calls. You guys, if you are like, wow, I would love to bring in an extra $500 a month, or maybe your goal is more than that. Well, guess what? You can't just make this something that, or you can't just treat it like a hobby and be like, well, I'm going to post, or I'm going to share, and I'm going to invite this month when it's convenient. But next month I'm going to be on vacation and I kind of just want to relax and not even do anything. Well, guess what? Your business is going to hurt from that, because if you stop doing this business and sharing and showing up for a good week to 2 weeks, a lot of times it takes time to gain that momentum back. And I'm not saying that you have to be doing these hard call to actions when you're on vacation and be on your phone all the time. No, you have to just know there's going to be a season of like pushing, and there's going to be a season of, oh, I'm going to reap the reward of the efforts that I put in. But if you want this business to grow, you have to treat it like a business, and you have to show up to calls. If you want, our team calls, our power hours, those are always available for you. And then, of course, like I was saying, we typically do our challenge group the third Monday of every month. And so even though we have MBF that started today, we will always have that other challenge group later in the month. If you don't know how to get into that, ask your personally sponsored coach. You can always be in their groups as well. But you guys, that's the best part of how we've set it up, is that you have 3 weeks to hit Success Club. You have 3 weeks to start making connections with people. And I like to do that. I like to make sure I'm connecting with my audience, that I'm liking and commenting. That's a big part of my business hours of when I'm working the business. I'm sitting there, I'm connecting with people, I'm commenting on people's stories. I just want them to see that, like, I'm not just there showing up for them to watch me, but I want to engage with them too. And then recruiting and relationship building, the second half is the second half of the month. So if you kind of look at it like, look at it, each month at a glance and go, okay, I want to hit Success Club. So I'm going to be doing my best the first few weeks to, sharing maybe your story, sharing your progress photo, sharing why these programs or these challenge groups, this community has helped you. And that's what you want to be sprinkling. But if you decide you only want to post once a week, then yeah, it's going to make it seem like you're always inviting. But if you decided, you know what, I'm going to share a little bit about, my lifestyle and my family, and maybe, if people come to you and they love taking polls about your hair, or they're always asking you stuff about your hair or your clothes or your fashion, then guess what? That should be a post on that too, because that means that your audience is enjoying seeing that, and you want to make sure that you're giving that back to your audience. And then, of course, recruiting is the second half of the month. So what we mean by that is you want to build a team if you want this to grow. And if you're like, I don't know how to coach people, I don't even know what I'm doing. Don't look at the big picture. Just look at it like, I just want to help someone else get started with what I just did, and I'm going to sign them up as a coach, or I'm going to convert these challengers who were really loving it, and I'm going to see if they would want to coach. Maybe they just want to be a discount coach. Maybe they want to be a hobby coach or a business coach. Either way, what I learned in the beginning, I was so scared to ask people, hey, have you ever considered doing what I do as a coach? I think you would rock at it. I was so scared to say that. And so I think as time goes on, you begin to feel more confident in this business, because you're like, wow, this has helped me so much. I need to share this with other people. And so once you guys start getting in the habit of inviting your challengers to become a coach, or setting up people right away as a coach, that's when it becomes a little bit easier, and it becomes fun as you're recruiting people to your team. And just as a reminder, we have our power hours on Tuesdays at 1:30, and then we have the second Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m. But we change that around every now and then, depending if we have a guest speaker and they can only do it, let's say, one day of the month, or one day of the week, then we'll change it around. But it's always going to be updated in our team page. So just make sure that you're checking that often. And then also on our team page, on our on our banner, we always have, what's happening that month. So if you're like, I don't know when this is happening, just take a peek at that. And then I'll go over this too. So business goals, Success Club. Hopefully you know what Success Club means right now. It's just a benchmark for you to be hitting each month. So I typically try to shoot for Success Club 10 or more every month. And as a new coach, that might seem like, wow, I don't know how I'm going to help 5 people. Maybe your goal is to help 3 people a month, and that's completely fine. This is your business and it's your rules. So don't get intimidated by what other people on our team are doing. Don't compare yourself to someone's journey or where they're at, because guess what, you guys? We have all started at where you are when you're just in the beginning stages of growing your team and getting your business started. So but I always say, if you want to grow this business and you want to build a team and a true income, then definitely shoot for Success Club 10. And of course, Success Club 5 is great too. And then Emerald, that means that you have 2 coaches. Maybe it's your spouse, and maybe it's a discount coach. And you're like, cool, I have no one working the business. How do I keep going? Doesn't matter. You guys, you build that way. I had Nick and my mom as my first 2 coaches, and then my sister. But guess what? I continue to show up. I continue to invite. And now, it's amazing to see what kind of downline that we have because of staying consistent and that ripple effect. And then Success Starter, you want to make sure that you are hitting or try to hit Success Starter within your first typically 3 months, but it can be any 3 months if that's 6 months of you being a new coach. So Success Starters means that you've hit Success Club 3 out of those 6 months, which is a huge accomplishment. You'll get a free ticket to Summit. Hopefully there'll be one next year. And then you get the recognition, which is always really fun too. And then the next step is Diamond. And I know this can seem like, what the heck is Diamond? And I know, because I felt that way too. I remember Shannon, who was my personally sponsored coach, she probably was annoyed with me because she was like, just look on Google, like, Kelly, everything is there for you. And I actually realized it is. I had to be resourceful. If I wanted to grow it, then I needed to know it. So I always tell my new coaches, if you want to grow, you got to know it. And I even have to remind myself that sometimes too. So there are so many resources out there for you guys to understand how to get to Diamond, but we'll go over into that a little bit more, and Shannon's going to talk about this.
All right. So hopefully this visual is helpful. I really think for me, visually, I need to see things sometimes. So the little blue balls are just an active coach with 50 personal volume points. And again, this is something that you can look up, but you get personal volume from your own personal orders, and then also from customers that order underneath you. But as you move up, for example, as in order to qualify for Success Club, etc., you do have to have 90 PV on Home Direct, and Shakeology satisfies that, and a bunch of other things. So I'm not going to go there because you guys probably already know this, but that's what the personal volume is. As you move up, then Diamond is that you have 1 active emerald on each leg, and then 3 additional coaches on each leg. So a total of 8 coaches. And the way that I like to think about it and talk about it is you get to emerald, right? And then you think, oh my gosh, like Diamond is so far away. And it's like, no, just do emerald all over again. Get another coach on your left leg, another coach on your right leg. And then it's your job to help start with one other person, do exactly what you did in achieving emerald, which is just sign up 2 people underneath them the same way that they got started. And so that's how I kind of share it. And a lot of times, like Kelly mentioned, your first emerald might be your husband. You might get yourself to Success Club always first in your own account, but then you might put 2 coaches under your spouse, get them to emerald, and then maybe you have one friend that's super excited, wants to sign up their friends. They're the emerald on the other side, and you're well on your way to diamond. So just simplify it. Don't ever focus like on, it's good to have big picture goals, but I like to just be like, okay, what do I need to do next? I'm going to focus on getting my next coach. And then I'm going to help that person, bring on 1 person and 2 people. So just simplify it. And then as you move up, we like to say that diamond is really just a stepping stone in your business. And the magic really happens when you get to 2-star and above. And I don't say this to overwhelm you, but just know that with each rank, you're just getting that much closer to more potential for earning a larger income and just growing your team. And I have to say, it is so much fun when people are like running alongside with you, and you will find that. And so just find your people. Don't get overwhelmed when people are saying no, or people that you think are going to be total rock stars and they do absolutely nothing with the business. And then people that are like, I'm never going to coach anyone, who was me and Kelly and a bunch of us here, and then decide to run with the business and end up making it our full-time income. So you can go to the next one, Cal. There's a lot of benefits also as you move up in rank. So a lot of you guys, most of you guys are Emerald coaches already. So you know that you qualify for leads and team cycle bonuses, commission, of course, the fast start bonuses, which are when you enroll someone as a coach, you get that fast start bonus. And actually, if you enroll 5 coaches in a 5-week period, then you get the Fast Start Plus bonus. So if you enroll 5 coaches, which a lot of people are doing with this new launch, in a 5-week period, that's $50 for each coach plus an additional $100 bonus. So just think about that. That's $350. So that's a huge bonus. But then as you move up to Diamond, your cycle bonus increases to $18 a cycle. And that is huge. You also get matching check bonuses on your personally sponsored coaches based on what their volume is and their income. And then you also can qualify for coach lead connections, which are kind of few and far in between. But if someone signs up as a coach on beachbody.com, not through somebody, you could be assigned them. And that has happened to me, and they've become coaches on my team. So that's also a big benefit to that. You're also, once you hit Diamond, you're in like the top 2% of our entire organization. Not a lot of people hit that. And that number is a little bit funny to me because I say that and I'm like, oh my gosh, only 2% or 1%. It's always a little bit variable, but it's actually not hard to get there. We have some coaches on our team this week that have signed 9 people this week, and everybody goes at their own pace. So keep your blinders on. Don't worry about like, oh my gosh, she just started coaching and she already has 7 or she has, 17 or whatever. Just focus on the fact that you can do this too. That it is just about focusing on one person at a time and getting them started exactly the way that you did. Okay. And do remember, it is the long game. So I want you to, first of all, your first encounter with people you talk to is absolutely the most important. And what I mean by that is that you need to keep it simple and let them see like that they can do this too, because so many of your customers are going to become amazing coaches on your team. So if you are spending loads of time talking to them and back and forth, they're going to think, oh my gosh, I would never coach that. It takes way too much time. So use third-party tools, and know that your first encounter also is not necessarily going to convert to a challenge pack order. Very seldom does it. It takes about 7 to 10 exposures for them to see what you're offering to join you. And think again about like, how long did it take you? I had a girl just reach out to me the other day that's like, okay, I've been following you for a few years now. I'm finally ready. And I really truly believe like until it's it's not the right time for them, they're not going to have good results. So I am never pushy, and you'll find that on our team. It's just like, okay, just give them all the information, let them know that you're there to support them. But if it's a no right now, it just is that. It's just the starting of building that relationship with them, and continuing to focus on serving them over selling them. Just learn to take the emotions out of it and know that it really is not about you at all if they say no. It's truly about them. It's that they're scared to start. Maybe they've had a bad experience in the past. Maybe they truly don't have the money right now. But often it's about belief in themselves, whether or not they can do it. And they kind of just need like a pivotal moment for them to say like, okay, I need this in my life. So don't, think it's no forever. Make sure you're still connecting with them. I recommend checking back maybe 1 month from then. And if they shared something they were struggling with, maybe you're sharing a resource or a tool, or, hey, I have this amazing recipe. Like you said, you struggled with quick, easy recipes. Making sure that you're still loving on their stuff and showing them that it wasn't about a sale for you. It's about what you can provide for them and how much you can help them, and that you have a solution to whatever they're struggling with. People don't care about you as much as you think. We are so ingrained in like social media and on there all the time. And so often I'm like, oh my gosh, she must just not want to do this. And so I like send the follow-up message. Don't hear anything back. Send another one. Don't hear anything back. And then finally I like just make a comment on their story or their feed, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've had the worst week ever. I'm not ignoring you. So just know and think about like how busy your life is. And if, before Beachbody, I was not checking my messages every day or my email every day. So just know it's not about you. Always stay positive. Don't assume the worst. And just know that most of the time they will come back around. It might be a month from then. It might be 6 months. It might be 12 months. You have to give this business time. It is just like our fitness and health journeys. It is not a quick fix. It is not an overnight get rich scheme. It takes time, and that time means you have to build relationships. You have to stay consistent. You have to show people that you are here for the long game too, that if they decide to join you 2 months from now, 3 months from now, that you're going to be there to support them. And I love this. I saw this quote that with each interaction with someone, you're either making a deposit into your relational account with them or trying to make a withdrawal. And what I take from that is, again, just like if they say no to you, don't be like, okay, I'm not going to comment on her stuff or like on her stuff, or like just forget about her. That again, it's just the starting point to really build that relationship so that they do learn to love you and trust you and just want to be a part of what you're doing. Really quick, I just want to talk about objections, because I feel like when we first start coaching that we get a lot of people that say yes, friends, family, etc. And it's really exciting. And we might get 2 coaches on board with us. And then all of a sudden we have people that are saying no. And it's really easy to like put the brakes on and think, I can't do this anymore. This is hard. You need to expect that people are going to say no. Again, use it as an opportunity to just start building that relationship even further, and expect objections. So think about like, if someone's going to give you a money objection, how are you going to respond to that? Maybe say, you know, I really thought that it was expensive too, but I realized, you know, Shakeology, it's one meal I don't have to worry about. Actually, I'm saving on my groceries, et cetera, et cetera. Or the time objection, like, you know, I'm a busy mom of 5. This is how I make it work. I would love to help you figure out how to squeeze in a workout. There's workouts as short as 20 minutes a day. You don't have to commit to something really long. But if you know how you're going to respond, you can even actually like weave those objections, counter them before they even have them or share them. And just know that it happens. And again, keep it simple, share third-party tools. You want to make sure that they're doing more talking than you are. And I find that often as new coaches, we verbally vomit because we get so excited that people want information, but just keep it really simple. Share a video, say, would love to hear what you think, check back in with them, you know, a couple days later. What did you think of the video? Does it seem like a good fit for you? And again, just get them to do the talking. And then the last thing I'll say is when people say no, when they say no, if they say no, is to track these people. And tracking, I think, is one of the things that has helped so many of the successful coaches on our team be so successful, is that they have written these people down, whether it's to pen and paper, an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheets, whatever it is, so that you can go back to these people when the customer launch happens. So maybe they didn't want to do it right now. You're going back to them as the 27th is approaching and say, hey, I have another group. I know the timing wasn't right, 3 weeks ago. Would love to have you join me. Maybe you're asking them 3 months from now. Again, there's people, like Kelly said, that I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I first invited her like when I first started, which was 5 years ago. It's not a one shot and done. So like the first interaction you have with someone, your first ask, that's not going to be your only time that you're asking them. So if you think of it that way, I think that really helps take the pressure off of like, okay, if they say no, it's fine. It's going to happen. And it just means that I have more of an opportunity to show them what I have to offer and that it's worth it. And so yeah, hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, do you guys have, because we'll open it up too, if you guys want to ask us anything, just maybe some things that you're stumped on or you want more clarification on, we're here to help you. Don't be shy. You can always put it in the comment section too.
I guess you guys are quiet, but I actually had a interaction with a I wanted to share with you guys today, because it really does go to prove about what Shannon said, where you make deposits into your personal interactions with people versus like just trying to make a sale. There's a girl who I have seen on Facebook who has had a great weight loss journey, non-Beachbody, and she's just really inspired by fitness, and she keeps like sharing fitness. And I think she's into CrossFit, and I also think she's doing a keto diet, which is not what we do, but I keep talking to her because I see something in her and I'm like, girl, you would love this if you just did it. And she almost bought a challenge pack probably 2 months ago. She had me going. I was like, oh, she's going to do this and get the discount because she gets the military waiver, and she didn't do it. And I honestly almost took her off my list. And I thought, no, because you never know. Things are always changing, right? And so I finally came back to her again and just said, hey, I was thinking about you. Like, this is such a great MBF package and the nutrition, and you still get the discount. She goes, her response to me was like, thank you so much for reaching out. I guess I just really needed the push. And let me tell you, like, you'll never hear that if you stop after the first no, or you just don't engage with them. So it happens to all of us all the time, and you just never know when the time is right. And how many of you, if someone came back to you for things you almost bought and like followed up, you'd be 10 times more likely to go, okay, fine, I'll go try your hair product, or I'll try that lash boost thing, or I'll try those leggings, but if they don't come back to you, they're like, they were just fluff in your mailbox, right? Like you don't even know who that person was that once invited you. So think about that. People aren't doing it to you on purpose. They're just really inundated with like a bunch of social media and email messages all day long. And they just didn't get to yours just yet. That's all.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I think the longer that you've been doing this and the more consistent that you've been, you'll be so amazed by the people that come around that'll say yes. Or when you do that follow up, they're like, actually, I've been wanting to message you. I just haven't gotten around to it. Or, they randomly take your poll again and they haven't contacted you or done any interaction with you. They don't even like your posts. That's the other thing. Don't look at the likes that you're getting. Don't look at, people that are taking your polls. Don't think, gosh, well, Kelly and Kim or Shannon, Nicole, like they must be getting all these people taking their polls, or they must be getting so many people that are, commenting on their, like when we do our invite posts. No, you guys, actually, I don't get a lot of that at all. How it happens for me, a lot of it does happen in stories, but it happens because I'm sending those private messages too. Just a quick, hey, I saw that you were watching my stories, or hey, thanks for following along, or I'm following up with people. Maybe I'm not even asking them anything. I'm just talking about, looks like you're a busy mom too. I comment on something, maybe their outfit, and then all of a sudden it takes that conversation of sharing about our running shoes to, by the way, I do want to try those workouts that you're doing. Can you tell me more about it? And I'm like, I didn't even ask her. I didn't even invite. It would just naturally progress to that because they feel like they know you. They feel like they have more of a relationship with you. So if there's one tip that I can give you guys and leave you with today is to have your blinders on. Don't get caught up in, the likes, the comments on your photos, or you feel like, gosh, it's just a slow start for me, or I'm not getting anyone. Because guess what? The moment that you do that, that's when that self-limiting belief comes in and that doubt and fear starts taking over. And then gradually, slowly but surely, you start kind of backing away. You don't do those posts. You're not doing the invites. You're not as excited anymore. And guess what? Your audience can feel it. And then when they see you not inviting and you take your foot off the pedal, they find someone else. They see that you're not really into it. Like, oh, I didn't know that you were still doing it. So, just have fun. Have fun sharing your journey. Don't feel like, oh, I got to show up today. I got to post and I got to do my stories. Don't look at it that way. I definitely don't. I look at it like, yeah, I'm going to share a couple clips of my workout and I'll share a little bit of this and that and my kids, because I would do that anyway if I wasn't a coach, honestly. It's become easier to like edit my clips, put them up on my stories, and then share little things throughout the day. One other thing, sorry guys, because I know this is something that a couple coaches have asked me, is like, if you're doing stories, how, like, do you feel like you're on your phone all the time? And I'm like, no, because I don't sit there, do a story and then look at everything else. I do a story and do it, or I'll save it for a later time if I want to do a sequence, and I'll just save it. I know Jessica Toma, she's a diamond coach, and I know she does this a lot where she'll do a lot of her stories throughout the day, or video clips or photos, but she won't post it until she has that moment, maybe when the kids are napping, and she'll load them up. No one knows when you loaded them up. It's not a big deal if you did like 10 all at once. I just don't recommend doing it at like 10 or 11 p.m. at night, because then you're going to miss a lot of people. So everyone has a different way of working this business, and everyone finds different times to squeeze it in. Just don't give up as it starts getting hard, because I'll tell you right now, it's going to get hard, and you're going to feel like you're getting crickets, and you're going to feel like, all right, no one wants to join me. And I want you honestly to ask yourself, am I making 15 invites a day? Because if you're not, then your business isn't going to grow. And like I said, those invites don't need to be so just like, hi, just that I wanted to invite you. Would you be interested? Do it how you would want to be invited. Do it how we invited you. How did that come? I know, for one, Meredith is on here, and she was sharing on her stories all the time. And I was like, gosh, she's so cute. She's sharing her workouts. I don't know what kind of workouts she's doing, but I'm going to ask her about it. And I said, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, just something on YouTube. I just follow different random things. And I'm like, you would love Beachbody. Have you ever considered doing it? Well, no, what is it? Send her a couple things. I don't know if you signed up right away as a coach or not, but I was like, you're already doing what a coach does. You're sprinkling it on your stories. You would love doing Beachbody. And she was like, all right, guess I'll try it. And here she is. So I was fearless by giving her that invite because I just love connecting with people. I was like, one, you're totally my jam. You know, like I feel like I love the things that she was sharing about. She attracted me to her, and we developed a relationship, and now she's part of my team. And that's how it goes, you guys. It doesn't need to feel like this huge, long process. It's just having fun, making more friends on social media, and making sure that you stay consistent. Because I see so many coaches do a post and then they wait 5 or 6 days to do another post. And maybe you're doing stories every day, and stories is, you know, you're getting interaction. Great. That's great that you're doing stories, but please try to commit to at least 1, 2, or 3. Something is better than nothing a week. So just make sure that you do what's best for you and what you feel most comfortable with. But just stay consistent, because that's the biggest thing, you guys. And if you don't have any questions, we will turn it off. But
Did someone get a picture?
I didn't get the full screen. Someone else wants to get it. I got like half, I think, of the people. I think. Let me look.
Kelly, can I ask you a question real quick? Sorry.
yeah, who's that?
This is Donella. Sorry. My kids are in
Okay.
the background and I'm driving home from camping. But explanation, how do I access that?
Sorry, you kind of cut out. What'd you say?
I'm sorry. The Desalination Emerald call, how do you access that
Oh, were you not able
from
to?
last week?
I shared it. I'll share it on our team page. Did you not see it when I posted on the new coach pod?
I didn't.
All right. You know what though? We should share it and have it uploaded into our file section, maybe of team calls, because it was Christina and Monica who led how to get to Emerald and a new coach call. And I heard it was really great. I haven't been able to listen to it, but we'll share it in our team page and we'll upload it for you guys.
Okay, perfect. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. And shout out to Donella. I know she's camping with her kiddo. She has 3 boys, but she, within a week and a half, enrolled 9 coaches. That isn't, maybe it's more. And if it's more, just let me know. Maybe you've enrolled a couple more. But I know for her, she was like super excited about more muscle burns fat. And she took advantage of her excitement, and it showed on social media. And then she just enrolled. She said, well, the only way to get started is obviously because you have to be a coach, either a current coach or a new coach. And then you guys go over the different options. Just because you sign up as a coach doesn't mean that you need to be like me and work the business. You can simply sign up, get access to everything. It's a great deal for $160 depending on their package. And she's enrolled 9 people. And I know a lot of you guys through I keep wanting to say Morning Meltdown, but through MBF, you guys ran with it, and it's amazing. So when you get behind, that just shows when you get behind Beachbody's new program, people sense that, especially when you're doing the invites and doing those personal invites too. People come around. So Donella, you're at Success Club 17, I think I saw. So awesome job. That's amazing. And it just shows you guys that she told me 6 weeks ago when she started, she was like so frustrated. She's like, I'm not getting anyone. And I'm like, well, that's because what you're doing now, or what she did 2 months ago, is coming to fruition now. Because you guys, I can tell you, people typically like to feel you out. They watch you, they see your journey, they want to know, okay, is she for real? Where is she going with this? And then boom, 2 months later, 3 months later, those people are like, what are you doing? You know, I want to do what you're doing. So just keep that in mind. If you feel frustrated or down, keep that positivity going, keep your high energy, and just know our team, we are all here to help you succeed. So you have Shannon and Kim, and I think Kim had to get off, but we're all here to help you guys. And just know, like, share it in the team page if you have a question, or do it personally to your personally sponsored coach. Either way, our goal is to help you guys have those successes too. So anything that we're having success with, we always try to share. Just know that we're not trying to keep anything away from you guys.
I'm going to just say one last thing because I think this is so important to realize that our MBF test group is really a way for you to share and sprinkle your journey the next 3 weeks, so that when customer launch happens, they've been watching your journey this whole time. And then you put the big post out there again, and they're like, oh my gosh, like her results are amazing. And every day we have a little task that's like, okay, today, for example, share your why you started. Tomorrow's going to be Transformation Tuesday. There's going to be something every day that's just small. But by sharing your journey and sprinkling your journey, you're going to showcase, like Kelly said, exactly what you're doing. They're going to be watching you. And then if you're noticing same people watching your stories over and over and over, when customer launch happens, you're like, hey, I've been doing this. I love it. What do you think about doing it with me? I'd love for you to join me. So just know that that's what that group is for too. Like, yes, it's an awesome test group, but it's also a training, and we're giving you the tools to launch this program and to really see your business take off. Because like Danella, who enrolled 9, maybe more coaches, I mean, that is huge, you guys. And I bet a lot of you are thinking like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it is amazing. And you can do that too. So just use this group to help you. You know, when you struggle with like, I don't know what to share today, we're helping you. Every single day, we're going to tell you exactly what to post. And so tag your coach, tag your coaches that are underneath you with it, and just like, let's just blow this up.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And already today I had a girl who signed up as a coach, but she was doing it purely for the discount, completely new to Beachbody. And she sent me a message and she was like, hey, so, and I didn't even add her to our team page because I didn't want to overwhelm her. And she was like, so I'm not a social media person, but I love today's workout. What do I need to do? Do I need to like just post it on my social media? What do I need to do? And I was like, well, you don't have to post on your social media, but I can help you with that. And you can just invite some friends that you think would want to do it. And you sign your friends up with exactly what I sign you up with. It's super easy. And she goes, okay, send me all the information I need to do. So you guys, right then and there just shows that someone can purely sign up for a discount and gradually go to something more. So, but that requires you to do the invites. That requires you to get them in the group and to share your journey, to make those invites, and to be excited. You guys, energy with anyone is contagious. If they're like, I want to know what she's doing to get through the day, or how she's getting results, or, you know, whatever it is, they will come around. I promise you. But you got to show up. You can't just assume people are watching you or going to your stories, because they need to see on your squares on Instagram, you know, what you're all about. So with that being said, thanks for showing up, you guys. Good job. We're off to a good month. And if that's it, no one else has any questions. Shannon taking a picture? Okay. How am I do? Okay, you doing it? Hi. I always feel so cheesy, but it's fun. All right, guys, this will be recorded so you can share with any of your coaches, or if you need to rewatch some of it. And if you have any further questions, just reach out to your coach. Thanks for being on. Bye.